Very pleased to have with us on the program right now from PJ Media, Dr. AWR Hawkins. How you doing, Dr. Hawkins?
Hey, I'm doing great. Good to be with you.
Well, it's great having you here. And you know, your latest piece at PJ Media, Human Rights versus Natural Rights. Here we are talking about Nanny Bloomberg in New York City, the mayor who, you know, has continued to go after the right to keep and bear arms of New York City residents. And now we see this authoritarian impulse rear its ugly head once again. Now, I'm not saying that we have a human right or a natural right to sugary soft drinks, but you know what? I think that we do have a natural right to make decisions about our own lives.
Oh, you're exactly right. We have a right of self-determination. And as I listen to you speak, you know, there are many analogies that could be poured out here, but you think about the idea of him telling someone how many ounces of cola can and can't be served. It's not much different from the idea of how many miles per gallon our car has to get for it to be legal under certain standards. It's not very different from a type of rationing on weapons. You can buy this many guns this month, and since you bought that many, only that many next month. And as I know you're fond of saying, and I am too, it is a slippery slope and is a dangerous road.
Well, it is. And, you know, again, you say, to begin your piece, you say leftists are masters of language. And, you know, Dr. Hawkins, I'm guessing that if you sat down and were actually able to have a conversation with Bloomberg about this, what he would say is that, you know, look, we have a human right, Dr. Hawkins, to be healthy. We are these corporations, these large, shadowy and sugary corporations are actually violating our human rights to be healthy, non-obese, soy and legume-eating Americans.
And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. He's probably, if he were to make that argument, that what they would do is demonstrate perfectly the danger of human rights, because what human rights do is give a role to the government that doesn't otherwise exist. Human rights justify the government invading our lives. And the scenario you just presented, were he to say that, he would be saying, so it's the government's job to step in and keep you healthy. And the contrast is natural rights tell the government, get back, get out of my house, get out of my life. I am a free man. I will live as a free man.
Interesting. Now, you know, again, things that people would consider to be a human right. Let's say the freedom to be free from, you know, torture, to be snatched up in the middle of the night by a totalitarian government and thrown into a prison cell, and you know your family never knows what happened to you. When we talk about human rights violations, in other words, you're not saying that that those things are unimportant, but you're saying that natural rights are being violated there. It's not just that some definition of a human right is being violated.
Exactly right. Now, I think there may be a time where the phrase human rights can be used in the method you're talking about, perhaps in a military setting. But regarding Americans, and the Bill of Rights addresses American citizens, regarding Americans, we already have protections on cruel and inhumane punishment. It is already in, if you would read, not you, but if your listeners would read the 7th through the 10th Amendments, just in those amendments, we're told we have so many natural rights, they can't all be enumerated. We are told that we cannot be treated inhumanely. We cannot be punished excessively, so on and so forth. I don't need someone to declare a human right to make those things so.
Interesting. You know, and this is such a timely article, Dr. Hawkins. I don't know if you're aware of this, but the Chinese government issued a report on human rights violations by the United States this week. And one of the things that the Chinese government says is a human rights violation here in the United States is the fact that we can keep and bear arms. It is actually, according to the Chinese, it is a violation of our human rights for us to exercise our constitutional right to keep and bear arms.
And that's a tongue twister. So it's a violation of my human rights to exercise my natural rights.
Exactly, because, see, the presence of firearms in a society, according to the Chinese, will automatically lead to greater violence. And so the only way that you can protect the human right of people to be safe and free from harm is to ban all firearms, like Washington, D.C. and Chicago did, and China.
That's right. And we saw the outcome of Washington, D.C. and China. Washington, D.C. and Chicago. In China, they can control crime because the government is so overreaching and draconian that you risk your life even to try to help someone who's being attacked by another person in that country. So we can't use China as an example, but you and I both know what happens in a free world when free people aren't allowed to defend themselves.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Dr. Hawkins, as always, sir, appreciate you coming on the program tonight, and look forward to doing this again soon.
Thank you, Cam. God bless you.